Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday, October 19th. Today, we are going to discuss FreeLunchCapital's move to completely fractionalize NFTs. We're going to talk about the series of new mints coming out this week, and we're going to play an edition of the once common segment, but now very rare segment on the show, Buy, Sell, or Send It to Zero. So really fun show ahead of us. Nick will be joining in just a second. I think people enjoyed his Alameda Masterminds rap song and the corresponding video that we made yesterday, and we posted to X. We'll be posting it to YouTube also so that the YouTube audience can check it out.
Make coffee.
Nick's making coffee, ladies and gentlemen. That's good. You got 9-hour Nick with some caffeine in him. Love to see it. We're trying something new today. If you are listening on Twitter and you want to support the show, press the like button and the bookmark button to help us get in front of more people. I'm assuming that's an algorithm-related maneuver right there, but hit the bookmark button on the Twitter space. Nick?
Is that really a thing?
Clemente, is that really? Yeah, Clemente's giving me the thumbs up, buddy.
Where are you bookmarking? Like, I'm on the space right now. There's no like pinned tweet for me to like click on.
The tweet itself. If you hit the little bottom right corner, the comment button, it'll give you the tweet to bookmark.
Hold on. I'm now switching over to the.
He's at his desk, ladies and gentlemen. At his desk.
There we go. So you click the thing in the lower right. Is that what you click? And then you're at the tweet. Boom.
And then it'll give you the actual space tweet. Because
Okay.
you get two of them. One that you'll do like a pre-tweet, but you need to go to the main one, which is the little comment button in the bottom right.
Okay.
I bookmarked it.
Oh, it's been bookmarked. It's been bookmarked. Pio, I have a serious question though. When is the song going to be on Spotify and Apple Music? Because like, listen, man, I gotta add it to the playlist. I've been asked a lot, when can people add it to their gym playlist? They said it just really gets the people going. Like, this is the song of the summer, even though it's fall. They're already looking forward to next year.
Well, it's funny you say that. One thought that popped into my head that I didn't see coming is, we kind of talked about this in a tweet, but we have 5 physical products coming out for Bodogos, like 5 different categories of physical products. And it just occurred to me after yesterday, I was like, I suppose if we keep making songs and music videos, we could actually add a vinyl record to the physical product categories. We could actually sell a vinyl record, which would be a pretty cool merch item.
That sounds like a good use.
Nick's face on a vinyl. Oh my God, dude. This thing would do numbers. I would just watch it spin all day. It'd be great.
There'd easily be 500 people who'd be interested in the song.
I don't know if there would be that many. Nick, how do you feel?
I'm not saying even buying it, but yeah.
How you feel in 24 hours? I'm assuming that was the first hip hop music video you've ever made, right?
Yeah. I've written songs in the past, but this was the first one saw through to the finish.
Feels good, right?
It was fun. I mean, for context, on Sunday, my mom was in town visiting, and my sister was here, and my girlfriend. We like went to lunch, and we went to a museum, and we came back to my place. And when we were on the way back in the afternoon, I was like, I think I'm gonna make a rap song.
Well, I found the text. I'll send a screenshot to Clemente. You texted me at 6:30 p.m. So I think I'm going to make a rap song.
So that was while I was on the elevator, and I was basically cursing to my mom. Like, I was like kind of making up some incomplete rap concepts where I was like, just picture this. So I'm basically sitting there and I'm just like, yo, I'm about to get up in your fucking ass, something. Like, basically, I'm literally just sitting there cursing. And my mom's like, I'm not sure. She's like, not sure what to make of this. And look, I'm 41 years old. So I think she's like processing what the hell is going on in my son's life. Like, what career, like, what is this? Like, what is he doing with his life, basically? And so she was probably questioning my life decisions, but I came back, and by 8 o'clock, I sat down and I just started listening through different beats. basically, and I got like 6 that were interesting. And one of them, I was like, yeah, I think I can make something to this. And basically between 8 and 10 o'clock, I had made like 60 to 70% of that song. And then Monday afternoon, I was like, this needs like 1 or 2 more verses. Or I knew what it was going to be. I'd started writing the lawyer's lyrics already by that point. So I was like two lines in. And then, yeah, I just wrote the other one in like pretty quick. And it was pretty much good to go at that point. So that was a fun process. There's definitely things I'd improve from that song, but
You mean you're not a perfect rapper right out the gate? You're not like as good as Jay-Z right out the gate?
yeah, that was a little disappointing. I thought that this may become a Jay-Z level hit. It was also interesting. So X has become pretty good. Like for those that don't follow you, I don't get I think for those who don't follow you and leave comments, you don't get the notifications. And that's the circle of which all of the hate comes from, like all of the negative comments, basically, of people just trolling you, being like, oh, this rap was only okay. and I'm like, okay, like, I don't know what, A, I don't know who you are, but B, like this wasn't a serious thing. We shot it also, and I'd say like a grand total of 3 hours of shooting the day before. Yesterday, we shot for an hour. I don't even know if it was an hour. We basically went to the court because I was like, hey, we should add like a couple other scenes just to make switching between this more dynamic. But yeah, I mean, the whole thing didn't really take that long. And then Pio ended up knocking out the edit. Frankly, we came back from a dinner on Tuesday at 9, and that's when he started editing. So 9:30. And he was like, I'm going to bed at like 11 or something. So he did the first edit in an hour and a half, and then the other one in another hour. So I don't know. I feel like we definitely can do more robust things. I'm just trying to convince Pio that not all of those things should be music videos.
I'm not married to music videos, although I was just starting to like look up beats and be like, all right, could we do this one? And, I mean, look, I think music videos are interesting, but I'm also aware of the attention span of people in this space. And basically, if we do another music video, there's just not, unless it's so ridiculous, it's likely there won't be as much interest because we've already done it. I mean, obviously there will be interest, of course, but yeah, I mean,
I think the reality, like, things like that will always get engagement because you're just doing something that's completely different on the timeline. Like that's all that you're doing there. The distinction is are you doing something that reaches people who are not in your audience and unfamiliar with things? For example, I was thinking about making I don't know if it was a rap lyric or something, but basically it involves something about Solana inside of the rap. And I was like, well, I would never mention that if we were doing like a short video where you're talking about like, here's how much people pay for rent in New York City. That's way broader reaching than here's the price of some crypto asset, of which a niche group of people are just intensely interested in like paying attention to.
Yeah, well put. Well put. Well, look, we'll do more interesting things that are attempts to raise the bar. Here's the original text message I got on Sunday evening. So I want to do a rap video. You never know what you're gonna get with Nick, ladies and gentlemen. It was just Sunday evening, getting ready to go into the week, yeah, I didn't know that by Wednesday we would have a video in the market posted.
One last thing I do want to mention, which was we were sitting in front of the court yesterday and went down there. And if there was a moment where like, I don't think people would expect what was going, like we should publish the version of the video where it's not the rap. So you're actually seeing that I am belting out this rap in front of people who are sitting in front of this court. There's like press. There's security guards. There was a Trump trial yesterday. And so there's a bunch of security guards literally hanging out in front. And
Police officers too.
And they have no idea that I'm about to start rapping. But Pio shows up with his camera. And I'm just like,
no, we literally get there and
got you, Sam Trabuco.
We're just acting.
Let's get up in that ass.
We're acting so professional. We get there, we're like framing up the shot. I'm like, I think that this angle works. Like you can kind of see the whole courthouse in the background. Nick's like, yeah, all right, sounds good. And all right, my desk is just tripping. But anyway, and then just with no warning, there's people all around. Nick stands on top of a platform. I'm low shooting up at him. He plays the song and he just starts screaming, Sam Bankman-Fried trial lyrics. So people knew what they were going to get. Got to give it to Nick. I've worked with a lot of people in this very capacity. Nick didn't really need much coaching. I just kept reminding him high energy, make faces, use your hands. And he took it from there. And if you look at the section where he's playing the lawyer, I feel like it's like some pretty damn good stuff where he's like really getting in the camera's face. Very compelling. I'm very proud of that section of the video, even though the shot's actually blown out because I haven't used this camera very much. I'm not super duper familiar with the Sony A7 IV, but I will be getting more familiar over time. Anyway, why don't we dive into the weather report? Signal, please. Good to have you back. Take it away.
No, I loved it, guys. I can't stop smiling. When I was watching that video, I think one of the best bits about it is the unexpectedness. I didn't expect to see Nick as a baby. Like at no point in time when I clicked on that video did I think I'm going to see Nick as a baby. And then the wedding dance at the end. I just love the shimmy at the end. It was really the piece de resistance. Well done, guys. You knocked it out of the park. It is on the weather report Wednesday, October the 19th. We're about 76, 75 days to go till the end of the year. So yeah, let's hit this. Market volume coming in at 12.1 million. Blur at 6.8, OpenSea at 3.1. Onto the market leaders, looking at the larger caps, we've got the apes there up 3% after a sweep came in from FreeLunchCapital. Captains breaking the 4 ETH mark and Pudgy Penguins down 6% to 5 ETH following the sugar dump. Other movers include Wrecked Guy up 13%, big party in London last night, Sugartown up 24% ahead of today's review, and Pio with a second knockout the park, first Gutter Cat Gang, and now Nino Super Cool World. That is up 60% to 0.5
damn.
after a last sweep. So Pio with the Hail Marys kind of might be winning October's challenge. Over the past 24 hours, while starting off with Social 5, the AVAX-based Stars Arena had a brutal start after they allowed trading on the platform. There was a massive sell-off of the top accounts, and the TVL dumped by more than half, from 2 million down to 1 million. Meanwhile, Friendtech is actually doing okay. It's holding steady at 43 million on the TVL. Over to Magic Eden, they instantly sold out 100 Pokemon card packs for 3 SOL each, making about $7,000 on the drop. But there were 80,000 users on the website just trying to scramble for those 100 cards. Great resale price. They resold for 20 SOL each before retracing, now holding a 13 SOL floor and recording over 60,000 in secondary volume and 185 sales. Onto the gaming side, the Animoca-backed Wallet Wars minted out at 5,000 raw passes yesterday for 0.025 ETH, despite various mint issues and delays, and they face just backlash for having all these issues despite being Animoca. The passes are holding just above mint price at 0.04 ETH and recording 100 ETH in secondary volume. And then lastly, onto more gaming, but Forge announced the completion of 11 million seed round led by Bitcraft Ventures. The platform is already live and aims to aggregate gamers' profiles across all video games and earn rewards and giveaways based off achievements and engagement on the platform. That is all for the weather report. It is back to you folks in the studio.
Fantastic weather report. I wish I bought some of those Nina Super Cool Worlds that I called out on the show. If art is going to accrue value, that is one area. But if you do the math, the problem is there's 5,079 of those things. So right now the floor is 0.54 ETH times 5,079. That's a 2742 market cap times 1550. It's a massive it's a $4.2 million US dollar market cap.
Yeah,
and
but
if
Damien Hirst thing, the currency I think has more, right?
But he's a bigger deal than she is. She's on her come up right now. But then there's a case to be made that he fell off. Even in the time of that movie, The Price of Everything, he had already fallen off. His like all-time high was, I think, like maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago. But regardless, the problem though is that when ETH rips, like it's not like the NFTs aren't going to pull back. And look, these crypto prices can only stay low for so long, especially if we're going to start printing money again, which if you follow the same Twitter accounts that report on stuff that I follow, it feels like Money Printer is just getting revved up right now. Plus Bitcoin having a lot going on. Anyway, I mean, maybe rate cuts.
If you follow the scam Twitter accounts that are just filled with a bunch of propaganda, then you're definitely getting accurate information on it.
Unusual Whale, so much propaganda.
So what did Unusual Whale say?
Well, they just report information. In fact, I feel like they deserve a celebration from you the way that Inner City Press did, because they just present information without any sort of bias.
So what was the thing about rate cuts?
No, they're not saying Jerome Powell's going to cut rates. But I mean, I think a lot of people think that over the next 12 to 18 months, that could happen. Keep in mind, whenever I'm thinking about buying something, I'm thinking like 12 to 24 months at least. I'm not thinking like I'm going to buy this today and sell it tomorrow, which I know is hard for people to, in this space to kind of grasp. Anyway, Daily Digest updates. Daily Digest is posted to X every morning. It's pinned up top, and it's emailed to anyone that subscribes at thenifty.com. The Blur token mysteriously pumped 27% yesterday before a complete retrace, as many called this whale price manipulation as we near the season 2 airdrop in 1 month. Saw some people that are not in the NFT space tweeting about the Blur token because of this price action. So that was interesting. Artifacts Air Force Ones have started to get delivered to forgers. And Franelations, our boy, made a sick little video there for TikTok. No stranger to making videos like this. He's an OG and, quite frankly, a legend in making videos like this. Has a ton of YouTube views. And he's just showcasing them, man. Showcasing them right there out in California. Good stuff. They look good. They look really cool. Nick's going to be stomping around in his Murakami ones. CryptoPunks and Avant Art are collaborating to sell a print featuring all 10,000 CryptoPunks on October 26th via a one-time 48-hour sale for $540 each. Pretty penny for a print, but yeah, it looks like a pretty cool thing. Nick, you going to buy one?
I think I may.
They kind of force you to. If you have a punk, you kind of have to buy it.
Yeah, I'm sort of like, what am I not going to buy this thing? Like, I don't know.
One?
Like,
are you going to get this one? Or are you going to get your punk?
There's an option for an individual one.
If you own a punk, you can get your punk printed. And then this one with the 10,000, anyone can buy.
You don't need a punk to buy the 10,000 one.
No, but you need a punk to buy the custom one, like your punk. It has to be in your wallet for you to buy that one.
But can't I buy that from anywhere? Why is this?
It's an official
certificate
print,
of
buddy.
authenticity, official print, yada, 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 all that good stuff.
It comes with this CryptoPunks thing. They're doing a limited 48-hour, basically like open edition. And then after that, those are the only ones that are going to get made.
Well, sorry. You just said open edition?
For 48 hours, basically. And after that, they're not selling anymore.
Wait, anybody? So there's no limit on the supply. I thought it said there was 10,000 of these things.
No, there's 10,000.
There's 10,000 CryptoPunks.
But but they'll have a window, a 48-hour buying window where anyone can buy the large print with all those tiny punks on it. And then if you want to buy your punk, you have to own your punk to buy your own custom punk. Like, can you see the ones in the background? If you saw Clemente, can you bring that up? So the ones in the background, in order to order one of those, you have to own the punk. It has to be in your wallet.
So it's just my punk on a white piece of paper?
Yep. Buy it.
I think
Buy it,
around,
bitch.
I think it's I can't remember the price, but I think yours. Clemente, can you look at the prices? I can't remember how much they are.
I know the 10,000 ones are $500.
And I think your one might be 700. Single print. Let me check. Let me double check that just in case.
Pay
of the
up.
prices.
Nick, I'll print your punk out on a piece of paper. I'll only charge 400 if you're interested.
I mean, I understand that there's like a special printer here, although even this icon of Yuga, why is Yuga on? Like Yuga's logo is on there as well, which is just like
They own punks.
I have a question. Is it better to buy that punk print or buy a Pokemon card that's worth $740? Which one's going to be worth more money in 30 years?
I mean,
I'm not saying CryptoPunks won't appreciate in price. I'm saying this print versus a Pokemon card.
I just feel like, yeah, I don't know about this one. The one with all the punks looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
The
But
single punk, it's $800. Sorry, just to give you the price, it's $800 if you want to just buy your punk.
What the fuck is this? I mean, I did buy that stupid ordinal to like prevent people from, and I think that was probably like $500 or $1,000.
I think it was more than 500. I think at the time you bought it for like 1.3 ETH.
Oh God.
Yeah, that you bought. I mean, you did buy it cheaper than Carson bought his 81 of them, but he had a much better trade on it because he's been holding them and they went up.
They did go up?
For the short term. Yeah, I'd have to check where they're at now. I think they're at like 0.6. They're down now.
Well, that's what we're referring to. If he's still holding it, then the price.
I thought he sold all of his bags.
Oh, did he?
He floored all the Moonbirds. He floored a ton of other stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways, the situation with this.
Yeah, you paid 1.5 for this bad boy.
Hey, thanks for pulling that up. Thanks for pulling that up. Really appreciate that.
Good job, Clemente. Way to find it really quick.
There's not even offers on it.
Nobody wants it, Nick.
This whole thing is just. I'm fucking pissed off about this print, man.
You don't have to buy it.
Well, I'm not buying the one in my own punk. It's just dumb. So like they can like that's just an absolute scam. Nobody's interested in buying a picture of just a punk. Like that's just not that's a bunch of nonsense. And I can't believe that they're coming in here and charging these ridiculous prices. This is an absolute scam. And then the one with the 10,000 I think is particularly interesting. That one, if you had it limited, but it's an open edition.
Yeah, but it's 48-hour. It's a 48-hour open edition. You know what's ironic is back in the day, Nick, if I remember correctly, you used to print out your NFTs and frame them, and you had them in like your corner. Or you have them on the wall. So it's not that ridiculous that somebody would want the accompanying physical to the NFT that they own.
I might buy a few of these just to run up the supply, Nick. What do you think of that?
I think we business expense them just to really get this moving.
Let's just cook the supply.
Just absolutely send it 1,000. You know, like nothing like it.
So does it go to the edge of the paper so you can't even frame it? What the hell is this?
No, you got to frame it where it's like the paper is all included in the frame and there's a gap, like a margin.
Yeah, so they're forcing that creative decision upon me as well, which is kind of a bunch of nonsense here.
Actually, that's where they get you because they give you the print and then it's bait and switch on the framing. You're going to go to your framer. You're going to be like, oh, I'd like to hang this up. Can I please have
like
wood?
$5,000.
I'd like a wood. Yeah. And then they're going to be like, yeah. So this is, I think, $600 and something. And then you're going to get the frame and they're going to be like, yeah, that's $900.
If they're smart, they'll also sell a frame. They'll sell you the perfect frame for it.
That looks great. That really does look phenomenal. I'm going to probably buy 20 to 30 of them to just make sure that I run up this supply a little bit, you know, and not buy a punk and never have a punk. Just run up the supply on this thing. Just cook it.
Pio's apartment is just a million of these punk pictures around the walls, just like completely over the couch.
No, I'm gonna run up the supply just to reduce the value of them for everybody else.
Well, really, just for you. I actually will feel bad about it for our friend Tony or other much more likable punk owners. Dude, the charging $800 for just the punk in the background that is a little bit offensive. I'm not gonna lie. Because it's just like, dude, like obviously the 10,000 of them print is better than just that. You know what I mean?
the fact that they have that person there with the magnifying glass is like just trying to add to the bullshit associated with this thing, where it's like, oh, look at the craft that goes into this. I needed to use a magnifying glass to make sure that the very expensive machine that we use on a daily basis and is one of the most incredibly reliable things that we actually use here at our printing organization here. It was working as expected. I mean, look at how they put that light on there to make sure that there's no imperfections. You know, you got to make sure that there's no imperfections in this print. That print is probably like, it looks huge. Like it looks like it's at least a couple feet. I don't know. Do they say the size of that print?
I have to imagine they say the size. Yeah, 24 by 24, 2 feet by 2 feet. A decent size print. Yeah.
That's not as big as I anticipated, but that's still good luck getting a frame.
Oh, the frame's going to be expensive as hell. Plus, you're going to want they're doing a pretty thin mat. I like thick mats, like to really make it seem like the artwork's super duper important. But yeah, we'll see. Bunny, would you buy a print like this if it was all the Bored Apes for $500?
No, you can just print it out. You just print it out your own. Nick, why don't buy this, man, please?
Bunny, you would just like print it out with like your printer at home on a regular piece of paper?
Yeah, I got a pretty good printer from Staples.
Are you sick right now?
No, are you sick right now?
We have dinner tonight, Bunny.
Yeah, I'm feeling great, dude. Is Nick coming?
Yeah, it's not going to just be you and me.
So
I'm
not going to just go to dinner with you, Bunny, one-on-one.
Well, dude, Bunny texted me, is like, dude, I really hope Nick actually shows up. Like, I don't know if he will. I was like, dude, what?
Of course Nick's going to come. Nick likes you, Bunny.
He seems flaky, dude. I don't know.
He's not flaky.
I mean, I am pretty flaky, but when it comes to the professional dinners, of which ironically this is a professional dinner, Bunny,
believe it or not,
I'll be at that. Well, regardless,
he's so professional tonight.
Bunny, what'd you think of Nick's rap video?
It's honestly really fucking good. Like, I wanted to hate it, but you can't, man. It's like, although my one question was in the opening line, you know, Bankman and ammunition don't rhyme, right?
Sorry, Bankman. Well, if you ask Eminem, he'd disagree.
Yeah.
By the way, Sam Bankman, prosecution came in swinging tons of ammunition. It's on and an. Bankman. Nishon.
No, don't even entertain this, Nick. This is basically a casual trying to comment on a rhyme scheme, a rhyme pattern.
Actually, incredibly well. Probably better than any of the raps that you consume, because we know that you're a Zennial who listens to the music that of the Zennial generation.
But Bunny, why did you want to hate it, Bunny?
I don't know, because it's Nick, dude. But it was really fucking good. It's honestly, I said last night, I said it's one of the best pieces of content in Web3 I've seen in a while, maybe ever.
I'm actually here's the craziest thing. I'm gonna just take the crown right now, put it on my own head, and let y'all know that was so far the best content in this space. The vertical of 5,000 people. Like, it is the best piece of content that exists. Debatable with the Tub Talk, but the production level of this is just superior to that. We shot the Tub Talk on iPhone. I will say that comes close to that. So the other thing that I will say, Thread Guy's Beeple interview feels visually like potentially comparable in terms of the format. It's a style, though, that I'm like, it's impressive the reach that one actually has, given the fact that like most artists' content just does not perform well. But that visually, I'd say Thread Guy's Beeple video is high quality. It's half an hour though, and in the NFT space, nobody watches anything longer than 90 seconds max. So I'd say the average watch time on this, though, was actually surprisingly high, all things considered. Every video we've done on X, the average watch time is at Signal. Do you know what the average watch time is?
3 seconds.
Yeah, 3 seconds. So this one was like actually far higher. It was like 25 seconds or something like that. So
what? That's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm impressed with just the watch through on this. Yeah. So
we're not going to talk about the video anymore, but just real quick, I just saw Clemente just pulled up a hateful comment. I was actually getting a little bit upset because there weren't that many hateful comments. And if there isn't a lot of hate, then it means that you didn't go that viral. But I guess maybe I missed some of them because there were a few that were like, why did you make this? And different things there. I figured there would be people that thought that we paid like a production crew to make this and implied that we were wasting, resources on it.
I did say, did you spend, how much of the Bodago's budget did you spend on this? And I just let them know all of it. That was what was spent on it. All of the money is gone.
I expected that to happen because I figured people wouldn't believe that we had the skill set to be able to, create that for literally $0. I mean, Nick bought the baby costume and returned it right after we got the shot. So that was the only budget.
Including the pacifier?
Oh no, so the budget is the pacifier. The budget that's how much this video cost to make right there. Mm-hmm. And we had to take the ferry. So $8 for the ferry. So this was a $15 budget on the video. All right. Anyway, so quick hitter right here. FreeLunchCapital's flooring protocol. Easy. What is this?
It's fractionalizing NFTs. So now you can buy a percentage of an NFT. You deposit the NFT into the flooring protocol. You get 1 million of what they're called UFP or UPPG tokens. 1 million represents a full NFT. So right now it's apes, pudgies, Azuki, and there's one more, Utes that are in there. So it largely looks like it's a lot of who's the founder? I forget what his name is, but he's the one that's backing it. FreeLunchCapital. He's the one who's backing it. So it's a lot of his assets in there, and it's more of a tokenized aspect representation of NFTs. So you as a user can deposit it. You get 1 million of the representative of the tokens, and you can then redeem those tokens for the NFT. It's basically just fractionalized NFTs when you boil it down, which, oops, dog just hit my desk. 1 sec.
All good. We got the actual buddy, the real dog behind Bodago's on Easy's desk. Nick?
One thing I was going to say, technically now we're a music NFT project.
There we go.
But that's not bullish. I'm going to be honest. That's an opportunity for us to sell. So just shout out to all the holders
that a music NFT's ever seen. That might be actually the best song.
That's hilarious, Bunny. Thank you. Real quick, so Easy. So this is this is a fractional trading platform.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this one going to work versus other ones?
There's a potential airdrop. So that's the big claim. You want me to boil it down as simple as possible? Free money.
Guys,
I knew you'd love that.
I
knew you'd love that. Yeah,
no, there's got to be something else, right?
Well, it's FreeLunchCapital who's been like heavily injecting into the space for so long now that's why a lot of people have like more belief in this. That's the big thing, is a lot of people are like, oh, this seems like it may actually have some staying power because FreeLunch has been continuing to deploy capital even in the bear. But of course, the user ratio right now is like we have Blur Season 2 ending. I think it's November 26th. This protocol heating up, which now creates liquidity for NFTs. The token prices are pegged to the floor prices. So as, say, Pudgy floor goes up, those token values go up. So if you can't afford the NFT, November 20th is when Blur ends. My apologies. Oh, so Tank says there's no airdrop. I've been seeing a lot of back and forth on that, though, is that there's speculation that there will be, just unconfirmed. And that's what's leading to the volume and the hype. So,
yeah, of course there's speculation. Dude,
what you thinking, Nick? What you thinking, big dog?
Talk about the biggest waste of development resources ever. This industry is basically one of the biggest waste of development efforts because it all goes toward a bunch of nonsense. Which if a product is great, it should be able to get people on board. You don't need to incentivize people by giving them money to use the product. Like, here's a crazy thing. Apple charges people to use their product. How crazy is that? You got to go out and spend over $1,000 to use their products for the right to use their product that they went and made. That's an insane concept. You got to buy it from them, which is so absolutely bonkers. In this space, not only do you have to first spend the money to go hire the engineers to go build the product, but then you need to pay all of the users to actually use the product that's on there. And then if they stop getting paid, they stop using the product. What the hell? How is that even a business? That's the opposite of a business. That is the inverse of a business.
Well, Nick, you're seeing the same issue right now with like Web3 games. Is basically like, we'll give you all this money to just come play our game. And then all of a sudden people are like, well, what's the next one? Like, we're seeing a ton of gaming airdrops take that same approach. And it's like user acquisition is basically, let's give you a ton of cash and try to convince you to stay.
Dude, I mean, this is worse than Facebook. When the Facebook platform first came out, there were a bunch of like apps called like, which were literally throw shit at your friends. Like that
was a fun game.
And it'd be like a picture of shit, and you'd like hit your friend with it basically, and they'd get a notification that said you just got hit with poop. And so there were like things like that made those apps go viral. It didn't cost anything. They went viral. But I'd be at a conference where I literally asked one of the guys that was behind that. Actually, you know who that guy was? Is the creator of the gallery. What's the NFT gallery here that is a DAO that hosts all those events everywhere?
Not super rare.
Makers?
No. That basically you can buy in, and they have they did all the art block crypto Venetians and things like that.
Not Web3 NYC Gallery.
No, it's okay. Crypto Venetians is the thing you want to look up. It's Crypto Citizens, which is now part of Bright Moments Gallery.
Bright Moments, yep.
So Bright Moments, the creator of that, at that time had created he had a business called socialmedia.com, and social media was an ad network for Facebook apps. And I was at a conference and I was writing a blog at that time. And I remember asking him, I was like, Seth is his name. And I was like, so Seth, would you say that throwing poop is a sustainable business? And he kind of laughed it off. The company did not work, was the outcome, but there was a lot of money made in a short period of time. But most of the games did not continue to thrive. Zynga was the product, the primary success out of that. And what did they do? Their first game, which is what everyone should do. It should not be their own IP. I'm just giving you guys a quick hint here of how to make a successful game. Don't create your own IP for the first game. They made a poker game. So they had Texas Hold'em on Facebook, and they just outsourced to an agency to go and develop it. And it went incredibly viral. And that was the foundation of how they ended up launching their own things. Eventually, they got to Farmville, but Farmville was many steps after them building some of these pre-existing games, where it was literally just, hey, here's an existing audience, go and build those games for them. I think Pudgy did something similar with their chess game, with Frog. They have like a Frogger game. That is the path forward. You don't want to go and create your own game right out the gate. But anyways, I thought I'd bring that up only because here we are again, yet another unsustainable model, which is just infuriating if you're building anything in this space.
I like the fractional NFT thing because, for example, it would be cool for me to be able to dollar cost average into buying a CryptoPunk. I know everybody in the space doesn't want to hear that. They hate the idea of doing that, but I do think it's interesting. But we haven't been able to get any traction, and none of these platforms have been successful, despite some of them raising a lot of money from venture investors and then still having to close their doors, one of them returned the money to the investors. Easy, is there any shot that this sticks besides the airdrop?
No.
It's tough to say. I mean, right now there's 4 collections on there, but like the argument always comes back to like, why would somebody want a fraction of it when you don't actually get anything aside from like speculation on it? perps become interesting on it, like shorting and longing and the opportunity for that, which like we've seen a few platforms try that and sadly never gained the right amount of traction. But staying power is obviously always the main focus, and what's going to differentiate this from the multiple iterations we've seen before. Solana has actually had very similar for an extended period of time, and none of it has gained any traction. We've seen probably double-digit efforts at fractionalizing NFTs. Elixir Ovals had it for the last 2 years, and it just never gains traction. We've talked about similar topics too, to like Pio's point, like dollar cost averaging into a redeemable and then actually redeeming it for the NFT. That for me is where it's like it could be interesting, but then at the same time, I'd almost rather just buy the underlying token, wait for it to pump, wait for the pullback, and then swap in. You know, like there's different verticals to take that same approach.
Well, the audience of people that actually would want to like dollar cost average invest into a CryptoPunk long term is so tiny. It's the smallest audience. People are probably like, what the hell is the guy even talking about right now? As I bring up the idea of dollar cost averaging into a CryptoPunk, they're like, is this guy out of his mind? Because like, they're like, I'm trying to gamble on things that cost $80 and buy it one day and sell it the next day at most. I want to buy and sell it the same day. That's like what a lot of people are thinking. So the idea of like, having a plan to dollar cost average into CryptoPunks for the long term, people are like, is he smoking crack? Clemente, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, so the reason why I wanted to bring this up, and one of the things that some people were saying is the bull case for this platform, is that FreeLunchCapital plans to actually get some of these tokens listed on centralized exchanges. So a random Joe Schmo could go and buy this on like a Bybit, for example, buy these Azuki tokens that correlate to the floor price of the collection, if that goes well.
One of the biggest issues for this is it's illegal. And the fact, so that's one of the challenges that they're going to run into with this. The other thing that you need is you do need liquidity pools associated with this. Was this the one that, how much money did they put in to back this? Because there was some conversation I saw around, they were like, well, here's why this other thing didn't work. And I don't know if this was the same conversation, but essentially like NFTX was one that had tried to do this and it didn't work. And the reality was they hadn't put enough capital in. Is there any statement about how much money they've put into this pool?
I haven't looked into that piece. I probably should.
But it is, I mean, he is FreeLunchCapital put in like, I mean, there's 111 Bored Apes in there. And I would assume that most of them, if not almost all, are from
I think right now it's basically all of them are.
Right. So that was part of the FUD, is basically that like this doesn't actually have real users or people putting their NFTs in. It's just FreeLunchCapital going, I'm one of the biggest holders of NFTs in this entire space right now. I'm just going to put them all into this platform to try to get people to feel more secure about using it.
And when you, oh, go ahead.
No, go on. Let's finish on this.
I was going to say, when you take money out of, so the idea here is that the person depositing their apes can generate money, right? They can get these tokens and then sell it into the market and make.
But the token's basically pegged to the floor. So that's the thing, is like, I think you do earn fees. There is some level of fees for people to redeem and like swap tokens for ETH right now. And you can only exchange them on flooring protocol. So I think that is where like there's a potential opportunity. And there could be potential smaller RBOPs that present themselves when, say, floors run. You can obviously get in and get exposure to the token at a fraction of the cost while it trends higher. There's a lot of like interesting DeFi components that come into play with this. But I just don't see the level of staying power is my concern.
Another,
Yeah.
sorry, I was just saying, like another issue I see with this was like the marketing language around it was like, okay, liquidity is going to dry up on Blur, so use this protocol. And already there are a lot of people who weren't even big fans of Blur in the first place, but have come around to using it. And whether they farm or they don't farm, it is one of the infrastructure that's sort of like, okay, OpenSea, Blur, these are platforms that I will use. With this product, I felt like they're taking that market of people and then they're making it even smaller by, having the tokens, doing all this stuff, which I don't think is intuitive off the back. I think you would need to have been in the space a long time just to understand quickly what flooring is trying to do. And so I just think like that market of users is really, really small. Whether you want to DCA into a punk or try and find arbitrage opportunities. It just feels like they're really going after power users and a very small percentage of power users and people who have used Blur, who are happy to use the product, understand that there's going to be limited liquidity in the future, and now want to move to this protocol. But it's just like the product just seems very, very, very niche towards certain power users.
Yeah, my perspective on DeFi is that I definitely see a future where DeFi exists in a big way, but it's going to be simple. Super, super, super simple.
Click button.
Simple.
That's it. Click button deposit, click button withdraw. Here's an APY, hard stop.
Yeah, super simple and very trustworthy, you know, and until it's trustworthy, like, you know, that the platform is going to be around in 5 years. Like if Coinbase did some sort of simple DeFi play,
well, think about it. They
very
kind of already
interesting.
do. You already can earn yield just by having your tokens in there. Like, dude, I think I get like 5 or 6% on my Solana that sits in there. So like when I DCA in there, I just leave it for a short period of time until it gets to a certain threshold. Then I move it into my hot wallet.
I was going to say, so you are not scared of having staked Solana on Coinbase after
it's not even staked. That's the thing. It's not even staked. It's just you earn it off of token balance, which is interesting. So like you don't even have to stake it. You earn an APY based on the token allocation in there. And some people may say like, oh, you don't believe in decentralization. Okay. Like I don't think decentralization is going to be the end all be all of this space. I think it's the right to ownership of the assets, which, like I said, I'm not putting a ton of money in there, but I buy Solana every single day. So I don't mind letting that compound for 2 weeks before moving it into my own wallet and then staking with a validator. So it's just short-term, small amounts, but it adds up. It's compounding.
Well, you know what I'll say about decentralization. I just won't say it because it'll piss people off, but I think everybody knows what I'll say. Anyway, so look, moving on to this week's new mints. Clemente wants Nick to lead this. Nick, we have a series of new mints this week. Look at Nick's face.
Oh, hold on. So there a little bit of context for Nick. So the reason why I want Nick I want to just get his takes on if he thinks any of these are relevant, basically a little hot or not, Nick, if you think any of these matter.
None of them do. No, the Pokemon card one is interesting. That Magic Eden had this stuff go like their own launch. Right now, what you can buy on there is an unrevealed pack, right?
Yeah. For about 14 SOL right now, minted for
down
3.
to 11 right now. So sitting at about $250. When shout out Frisk, by the way, he went through basically every card in there and figured out valuations. There's maybe 3 cards that you can hit that are higher than the current floor price of the Solana value out of the 100.
Wait, there's 3 in there that are higher,
worth more than 11 SOL right now.
And well, that's not great.
People love to gamble, man. 3% chance that you could hit something that'll make you money.
This is something that honestly, it's pretty clear that this is kind of the future of the way that I think NFTs operate is on this front. We've essentially done this, but without charging money. We were using Bones as the system for this. People love that, and people also continue to hold on to the unrevealed packs. It's the same way as with the Mutant Ape serums. It was basically a very similar thing. The only downside there is you had to hold on to, well, actually, no, you can own the serum itself, but the serum requires an ape to be associated with it. But I mean, I do genuinely feel that this is kind of the future of the way of a lot of how a lot of these things are going to operate. The one thing that's weird is as that supply becomes much greater, it's going to be a little more challenging. Like, how many people will hold on to unrevealed packs for an extended period of time? And in the world of trading cards, clearly it's a significant number, because the unrevealed stuff, the unopened iPhone, of the first one that's still in the original packing is the thing that's valued incredibly high. But it's also like, I don't want to display the box. I want to display the phone. But so it's such a crazy. It's an interesting dynamic. I just don't know like what the market will be for unrevealed Pokemon going forward. And I think it could become a case where what's the total volume of like Pokemon cards traded on eBay per month?
Ooh, that metric is, I'm not sure. That's actually would be an interesting stat.
That's a good stat. Nick, the one thing I will say is there is a history of this. This is one of the rare things in our space where you can actually look at a history. But I agree with you. The problem is that the market of people doing it digitally is different than the market that does it in the traditional world. I think that no matter what, the digital version is going to be cheaper than the actual eBay version, because I think that that'll incentivize people that come from the eBay world to come over and be like, wait, so I can get this for $40 less, because the person that owns it is an absolute degen gambler and just wants it out of their life as soon as possible, and they only bought it to sell it. So that's what I would think is the way that this kind of plays out. But I agree. I don't know what the crypto degens are going to do with the unopened packs and how it goes 9 months from now, for example.
The other thing I thought was interesting was the Magic Eden Solana version of this got $60,000 in trading volume in less than 24 hours, which was way more sales that at least I saw on Courtyard's version of this that's on Polygon. So there is a little bit more of a speed to mint and to transact, bringing more volume to this Pokemon style drop. And 80,000 people on there. Magic Eden said there were 80,000 people waiting to mint this thing, which I'm assuming all were bots. But correct me if I'm wrong, Easy. This thing pretty much just instantly sold out.
Yeah, you didn't have a chance to buy it. It was like the second that timer hit 0, they were already sold out. There was like not even a chance to breathe at the thing. It was just gone immediately.
We'll have to see how long that lasts and whether it continues to last. Also, the presence of competitors might adjust it also. That'll be very interesting. Nick, any thoughts on this before we move on?
Not on the Pokemon cards. The Michelin situation, a lot of people have been asking me about the Michelin NFT. Phone's been ringing off the hook. People said, actually, a lot of the comments under the rap video yesterday was like, why didn't you make this rap about Michelin? Because their NFT is minting right now. And oh my gosh, this is one of the best NFTs that I've ever seen. I don't know what the utility is of that. And I understand that's a ridiculous statement, but in the case of a corporation like this, I actually think there would be some sort of utility associated with
25% off tires for 1 month.
No, so it's all raffles, Nick. So they're doing a Grand Prix, or they're doing like a giveaway for whatever Grand Prix is coming up. And they're offering like an experience or giving away various, like, you get tickets to the Grand Prix, you get to go to this restaurant, you get to meet Michelin execs. And that's part of it.
Do you get to meet the Michelin man?
You couldn't not make that joke, huh, Bunny?
Yep. Yeah, I couldn't.
You have a more sophisticated sense of humor than that, but you just had to unmute and just make that one.
I felt compelled. Compliment that. I'm sorry.
I feel him on that.
I'm going to be honest. I was considering buying one because the mint ends today, and I was thinking it's going to be a classic mint supply is cut and people kind of get FOMO trying to buy in. I might buy this at 0.05 and try to sell for like 0.1. But also they're just a disaster on their social media. They like tweeted GM to everyone that delists today.
I love it.
Didn't Stoner Cats just get lit up for saying similar things? And they're just like, yeah, no, delist. Well, like, just do it.
The double standard in the space of what you're allowed to talk about versus not is hilarious. Somebody posted a tweet that went pretty viral that like Punk6529 commented on. It was artists who were shamed for tweeting about price, watching Rafiq Anadol quote tweet his sales bot with rocket emojis. And it was the meme from Oppenheimer where Cillian Murphy's like, that's a good tweet right there, because it's true. Like Kevin Rose said one thing about Bored Apes and was crucified for it. And then he had to come out and be like, I understand I shouldn't talk about other projects, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, if Frank talked about something, I'm sure it would be okay or something like that.
But it's also talking about your own project versus another was the main thing. Like Rafiq Anadol's gassed up that his shit is cooking right now, but he's not commenting rocket emojis today when the floor price is down 40%.
It's down 40% on wins of Yawanawa.
Back under 10. It's at like 8.5, maybe 9. So it fell from 15 all the way back down.
That's
so those rocket emojis, Yeah, I mean, those rocket emojis at this point are now just like the down emoji chart is what he should start commenting it with.
Yeah, but that's
You know,
the
like,
rockets just don't go continuously up. They have to come down.
oh,
So
true. Yeah, they run out of
he's actually on
gas. You're
point on the
right.
meme. Yeah,
Sometimes
exactly.
they-
But like Michelin, I really feel. So I was just saying, Michelin, I really feel like they missed a trick here. I don't know about you guys. You got tires, car community, motorsports, food. I mean, everybody loves food, Michelin food. I just feel like instead of coming out the gate with 5,000 NFTs at 0.05, which basically means this could have been a free mint, they could have just like cut supply like way lower and make it a really, really tailored experience to either the automotive like community. For example, on YouTube, there's huge automotive community, always talking about tires, always talking about the latest technology of tires on cars, or targeted the food people, and then obviously brought in like this curation of crypto or NFTs or like whatever they wanted to do in their Web3 department, but just make it more targeted, more smaller, because those three communities, whilst they're very like separate, they could have come together. But at 5,000 supply, I think they missed a trick.
Well,
I mean, I agree. Or sorry, what? I don't know what
I
you're
was
going
gonna
to say.
say, what is the legit business purpose for a corporation like Michelin to drop like an Ethereum 5,000 supply profile picture right now? Why wouldn't you just like partner with Polygon, like Starbucks or something like that? Like, what could possibly possess a company like Michelin to actually, like, what's the strategy? Like, why do it besides just you make money? You know what I mean?
I don't think
like,
it's even the money part though, because it's 0.05. So at that price, you basically have people above you, and you need to go to your boss, and you need to be able to say, okay, like this, like there is money there. We haven't fully exploited it, but it provides a business case to the people above you to be like, okay, at least it's not a complete waste of time, right? So I understand why they have the pricing there, but what I don't get is why to come out with such a huge supply at 5,000 when it's all raffles, and like how many of these are you really going to own, and how much do you love the Michelin brand to go out and buy like a whole wad of these? There's just some like dynamics here that I feel like their Web3 team haven't quite thought through, or don't really have their finger on the pulse.
yeah. Nick, closing thoughts on Michelin?
I mean, yeah, this is just they deserve to be sort of made fun of for this whole project here, because it's just an absolute train wreck.
These profile pictures, man.
I mean, dude, this is just tough. This is tough.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick has been speechless a couple of times during the show. Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, we have been trying to figure out how to make this show 45 minutes, but for some reason, we just can't figure it out. So we're going to go ahead and do buy, sell, or send it to zero with our very own Easy's Bodega. Been a while since we did this.
This one's going to zero.
Oh, no.
Zero. Send it to zero, Easy. This thing is garbage.
It's been a while since you heard that theme song, ladies and gentlemen, but this is the buy, sell, or send it to zero segment with Easy Eats Bodega, where we decide whether we're buying a project, selling it, or sending it to zero. Easy, are you ready?
I was born ready, Pio. It's go time.
Let's party. This is over a 60-day timeline. D-Gods at 3.2 Ethereum, 5,000 US dollars. The collection has hovered between 3 and 3.5 Ethereum for the past 30 days, but is down from their all-time high of 10 ETH 2 months ago. Easy, are you buying, selling, or sending D-Gods to zero?
I'm buying it here, Pio. We're buying it. I think over 60 days going into the end of the year, these will be trading higher than where they're at now. Frank's got a way of making it happen. The guy's shown himself time and time again. He's basically hopped off social media from posting about anything besides the comeback will be better than the fall off over and over and over. So that seems to be his only focus right now. I know he's also focused on Utes, but I feel like they've continued to say we're going to just keep iterating, trying new things, and letting it fly. So I'm very eager to see what they have in store. Frank's got a way to make it happen. So I think we're going to see over where they're at right now over the next 60 days.
Nick, what do you think of that?
Man, all this stuff. So Utes, my position, I'm gonna say is I'm selling it here.
D-Gods, not Utes.
I'll sell both. Honestly, I'll sell pretty much anything at this point in time, because I'm just not. The only thing maybe I'd hold. No, I was thinking if I'd hold on to any. No, I'd sell anything and pretty much everything at this point in time. I think it's time for me to just hang up my coat, and fade off into the sunset and become, really embrace the rapping lifestyle that I think, I was always destined to do, and become that rapper who I was always destined to become.
Well, I can definitely support that. Signal, what about you? Buy, sell, or send DeGods to zero?
Man, I feel like at this point, this collection has a girl on every chain. It's just like he is hustling, he's cheating on you. He's got a girl in the Bitcoin, a girl in Solana, a girl over in Polygon, a girl over at Youth. And honey, if you're in that relationship, get out, get out. He's cheating on you. Like,
wow,
I'm selling it, man. What, 60 days from now, it is Christmas. It is probably like 20th of December or something. I'm spending my ETH on Christmas presents for my IRL friends and family. I ain't buying you gods on like the 20th December. I'm doing my Christmas shopping. So sorry to say, but it's going to be a sell here.
Clemente?
I'm a seller. Frank was like, I'm not going to build expectations. And then he goes, Unify is going to answer every single question that you've ever had about DeGods and Utes. Points Parlor getting answered. Bitcoin DeGods getting answered. Bitcoin Utes ? Getting answered. And then he has like a question mark launch that he has. I'm rooting for the guy, but it's tough. It's tough right now.
Well, my position is it's hard for any collection to sustain this $5,000 floor, 3.2 Ethereum. But since everyone else said sell, I'll say buy. I took the contrarian take on Gutter Cat Gang in our little contest at the beginning of the month, and that has worked out so far. So I'm going to say buy. Nick?
Wow. All right. Well, then now I got to follow suit because Pio's been having win after win.
But I haven't been actually buying anything. So these are just like wins.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not buying it. I'm just saying that is the position. I'm not putting any money behind that, which actually kind of makes this whole segment a little bit ridiculous because there's no risk being taken.
There's no stakes.
The full risk is us just being like, buy it. Buy 3,000 of them. I'll buy 3,000 of them real quick.
What I will say is, so first of all, I now almost just have enough liquid ETH. Maybe I do have enough liquid ETH to just buy a Bored Ape. Like without moving anything around or buying or selling anything, I just buy a Bored Ape right now, which is kind of wild because at a time that would mean that I had $500,000 in liquid ETH laying around. It's just wild how much that's changed. But I think right now I could just like click the buy button on a Bored Ape. So I think I have like 23 ETH or something. So I'm like right there to be able to buy this without changing anything over, no changing Solana, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, none of that. Pepe, which I have a little bit of. That was so dumb. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I have been thinking about buying a mutant ape because if they're going to do that whole clubhouse thing, that actually is quasi interesting. And how much is a mutant ape? Like $6,000 or something like that. That's interesting. Because you start to get into the conversation, or maybe it's like 10 grand. You start to get into the conversation.
Like 9, yeah.
$9,000 for a mutant ape. How much is it, Clemente? What do we got? 4.85. So that's like $8,000 or something, right?
Yeah.
$7,500. That gets interesting because like a Soho House membership is like $3,000 a year or something like that. I know, Nick, it's not the same thing. I know, but if anything, it's less cool, but it's probably a better business networking opportunity. Like it might be good for our business. I don't know. Not saying I bought one or that I'm going to buy one, but it starts to get interesting. 4.85 ETH for a mutant ape. Maybe that's insanely expensive and they're going to go to a half ETH over the next year. I don't know, but that feels pretty cheap compared to something that once cost 120 grand. Anyway, next one. This is a fun one. Canpai Pandas at 0.8 Ethereum, $1,250 US. This collection has just really developed into a streetwear MMA brand. They sponsor major athletes, and they've grown their podcast to 2.5 million views on YouTube in 3 months, 30,000 plus subscribers. And not slowing down on that front, it's literally now one of the premier MMA podcasts. And they are sponsoring athletes that actually could be winning championships in the near future. One guy was booked to fight for a championship in January, and they're selling streetwear clothes with his likeness on them. And if you know MMA, the niche athletes that blow up big can do literally millions of dollars in sales on streetwear items. Anyway, Easy, what do you think?
I'm buying one. but I'm not buying the ETH one. I'm buying the Solana one. That's the play here. They're at a 40 SOL floor. It's $1,000. They're $200 less, and you get all the same value.
And how much is it?
$1,000, 40 SOL. Actually, a little less.
$250 discount is not that much.
It's $250, Pio, and no gas. Probably save $300. Yeah, I'm buying a Campai Panda here. I like them. I think ice bags, milk bags, whatever he goes by today, seems logical. These things are about 20 SOL under what they minted for, and they're eventually going to be compatible once Layer 0 rolls out Solana support. So eventually you'll be able to bridge these to ETH if that's what you desire. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of it. Dude, Campai Pandas also just gives away a ton of stuff. Like right now they have raffles for the Super Bowl, NBA Finals, the John Jones MMA fight. Like if you're a sports fan, it seems realistic to try this. Like they have so many things going on and they're crushing the MMA side. Content-wise, they're really leaning into a streetwear and mixed martial arts side of things. And they give you VC opportunities. You can invest in platinum bare knuckle fighting as a Campai Panda holder. So everything that they invest in, they give opportunities back to their holders. It just seems like if anyone's very conscious of this, it's milk bags. So yeah, I'm a buyer here of these.
Yeah, I mean, I have my thoughts that I'll share in a moment. But first, Nick, buy, sell, or send it to zero. Campai Pandas.
Again, just selling not because of anything about the business, but just because NFT collectors are disrespectful jerks. And so I think that they're not going to own. They don't care that this guy's building a legit business. It's had no impact on the price whatsoever. So I just wouldn't participate in this other than like if there's some sort of like social experience that I get to participate in, maybe. But I just think overall, I mean, I like them. But despite that, this is more of fading the market rather than fading this project. And so I'm going to sell just from that standpoint.
Okay. Signal.
I like their lane. I really do. It's not gaming. It's not. It's just not the regular stuff that we see everybody else trying to do. I like their MMA, even though I'm not like I don't watch MMA. I'm not an MMA fan, but I've heard you guys talk about it, especially UPO, like for long enough to realize that they're doing something unique in their lane, in their space. So I'm going to say it's a buy for me here. Wish them luck. I wouldn't buy, but I would paper buy. So yeah, I'm liking the Campai Pandas.
Clemente.
I'm a buyer. Actually. They have never really gone down below the 0.7 ETH. Not never, but in 6 months ish. They haven't gone below 0.7. I think they do good stuff. What I don't like, and someone put in the comments, eBrink, that they have changeable traits and they can be adjusted. I'm not a fan of that. Like I'm a fan of you get what you get and that's it. Or you don't throw a fit. That's what my mom would say. Anyways,
I like it. Bringing mom into the thesis. Thank you, Clemente. Well, look, I feel like I have an edge on this one in two areas. Number one, because I've watched the rise on the MMA side. I'm an MMA fan. I fall into that niche, and I've watched the rapid success. He's literally starting a fight promotion with Mike Perry, who is a very well-known now bare knuckle boxer, but he was in the UFC. He was an MMA fighter. And between the sponsorships they're going to get for the podcast, the money they're going to make on the promotion, the money that they're going to make representing athletes, and the money that the revenue, I should say, not the money, not to confuse anyone, the revenue that they're going to make selling the clothes, which all of those things are viable revenue streams, proper businesses. I'm going to go ahead and between that, and then the other thing that I know that I feel like I know something people don't know is that people are going to start buying their own NFT projects to make the price go up. And I'm not presenting that as like a negative thing. I'm presenting it as a positive thing. So I know that that's going to happen. So I am a buyer, an actual buyer of this collection, because out of everybody, there's more revenue channels than you see from Pudgy Penguins. There's more revenue channels that you see from anybody else in the space. And I know something that the NFT audience doesn't know, which is that people are going to buy their own NFT projects to make the price go up, because that's ultimately the most direct way to have that price go up. If you build a software product, if you build a platform, the price goes down. All people care about is the price going up. people that have actual revenue streams, profits from businesses that have NFTs corresponded to them are going to buy their own NFTs to make the price go up. And that is not a bad thing. So I'm just telling you right now, that's going to happen. You can try to say that it's dumb. You can try to ridicule me. It's just reality. And it's all that anybody wants anyway. So this is a big old buy for me. Actually, I'm going to buy one actually. Last collection, CloneX at $1,600, 1.05 ETH. Can't say I know something other people don't know on this one. Easy, buy, sell, or send it to zero.
Oh my God, I want to send it to zero, Pia. I want to send it to zero. Like all the way. All the way. Yeah, at this point, man, I'm looking at it. I'm like, you guys have 700 NFT collections. I don't even know where to start if I'm outside the space with these. You have Nike doing .swoosh now. There's a whole mess of stuff going on. I don't even know what the whole Nike overlap is with Artifact at this point. I like the shoes a lot. I like the redeemables. I hope that that starts ramping. But like, what is the value add? You just get early access to these sneakers?
That they're down at 1 ETH.
I think they go under. I think they just keep trending lower. Like, if we see this at 0.3, 0.4, I wouldn't be terribly surprised. They just have so many collections, dude. And at this point, if I want to get something to forge, I'll just buy that. Like, I could go buy the crypto kicks and forge them without having to own the artifact and still basically pay what they paid. So I'm like, what is my value add for owning a clone here?
Damn. Dude, these were blue chips. These were viewed as like as one of the leading projects. I'm surprised I don't see more FUD about it, but that's also because I never was in the CloneX community, so I don't know what that how that what people are saying over there.
They got FUD for the French guy talking smack about Luca. Or
well, yeah, I remember that.
Yesterday, the reason why I bring this up is yesterday there was actually positive sentiment from the holders. They were doing the classical quote tweet of it's a good day to be a CloneX because people were so happy about the shoe drop and I actually was really interested in like I saw Quavo wearing those shoes. He was looking at the artifact shoes and he was like, damn, like these are fire and all that stuff. I was like, that's actually pretty interesting, but does that equal CloneX price go up of the 20,000 assets that they have? I don't know. I'm a seller here for anyone that's curious. And I would, if anything, I'd buy like that little Animus egg in case they actually do something with it if I had to buy one of these things. But that's a year overdue almost from when they first minted.
I wouldn't go near that egg Clemente. Remember where they had the box and what was inside the box? It was a voucher. So like, I don't know what's inside that egg, but I have no interest in knowing.
Well, they also had another box that was inside that box was another box. It's like the, what are those dolls called?
The Russian dolls.
Yeah, the Russian dolls. They basically just keep getting smaller boxes. And at the very end of it, yeah.
Nick's just, man, I want to just give Nick like a big hug right now. He's so deflated at this point. The thing about CloneX is they pumped when Nike acquired them, but the reality is like Nike doesn't care about the NFTs. They care about selling the shoes. The shoes are sick. The shoes are fire. Fire, bro. But like they don't care about the NFTs. Like, why would they? They're Nike. They could just buy all the NFTs right now and make the price go to 10 ETH. It's Nike. They sell shoes to the whole world. They can make it 10 ETH right now.
They did do something with a .swoosh where if it was redeemed, you're now able to buy a pair of sneakers which are only available to .swoosh holders who have revealed their NFT. So it's going to be quite a small collection of shoes that are actually going to be available. So I think what .swoosh is doing is more compelling and more interesting than what's happening on the CloneX side. And it does feel like there's a sort of like a conflict of interest or tension between those two departments of what Nike's trying to do and what CloneX is trying to do. So, but the shoe slap, when I saw them in Franlation's video, I was like, damn, I've actually got FOMO. They look cool.
And those .swoosh boxes are $100, not $1,600 for the CloneX.
I can't believe we're still talking about this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. What a fun episode of the morning show with Buy Seller Send It to Zero with our very own Easy Eats Bodega. Mr. Nick is a little bit deflated, but it's okay. He'll be back. We got 7-hour Nick instead of 9-hour Nick. It's all good. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the show, check it out on Apple and Spotify podcasts to share it with people outside of the Twitter bubble. It's also available on YouTube for the video stream, and the video stream is also posted here on X. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time. We do the show Monday